You're tuned in to B&T Unscripted. Get ready for raw, real, and unfiltered conversations with the award-winning radio show host Tiffany K and her co-host and fiance Brandon. It's life, love, and laughter. Unscripted, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Buckle up. You're listening to B&T Unscripted.
Are you finally ready over there, Mr. Social Media Mogul?
Oh, what?
Social Media Mogul.
Yeah,
right? Hey, you know what? You made me wait a good
brown cow.
You made me wait a good 15 minutes trying to post a picture on your Instagram story. So, are you ready over there?
Well, you know how we're so famous.
Yeah, okay.
No, let me stop.
Okay.
We're not. We're not at all. But, no, had to make sure it's perfect because I'm a perfectionist.
Well, are you ready to jump into this week's episode now?
Are we recording?
Yes. Yes, we are. Are you ready?
Yep.
You sure?
I don't know. I'm never ready for these things.
Oh, Lord. Welcome back to B&T Unscripted. I'm Tiffany. That's Brandon.
Hi.
Hi. If you haven't listened before, we are an engaged couple. We talk about all things life, whether it has to do with lifestyle aspects, top trending stories, entertainment, relationship issues, or just relationship stuff in general. And if you have been listening, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you a lot.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry it hasn't been as consistent for our episodes. We've been a little crazy.
Busy,
cray as they say.
Around. Yeah.
Cray as the kids say around here. But we will be getting more consistent on these. So the highly anticipated episode that people have been talking about or waiting for, the wedding episode.
Yep. Yeah, everyone wants to hear my perspective, I guess. It seems like. But I feel like my perspective is not important, just like many other guys. I mean, seriously, let's be honest here.
We're going to get into that. So before we go too far, so you and I are engaged. We're getting married in 2025, October. And, you know, a lot of people who followed along with us from the radio world to now have been wanting updates because I was updating on my radio show at one point.
Yeah.
Just where the process was. And people have been with us since day one. So we do have some wedding updates, but it is funny because a lot of people do want your perspective on it. Because as a female, we always hear the female perspectives. But it's funny to hear it from a male. And so there's going to be multiple topics we're going to go through. But in general, we're what? A couple months into wedding planning. Let me ask you this. How are you feeling so far about it?
I'm pretty tired now. I think I'll go home. In the words of Forrest Gump, you know.
It's Forrest Gump.
But no, I mean, it's been fun. It's been a learning experience because this is the first time for me. You know,
I would hope so.
Unless I got married in Las Vegas or something.
Let's not say that. Surprise.
You know, but no, it's been a learning experience. So I mean, it's tiring for sure because y'all, on the bride side, y'all deal with so much more. And I'm just sitting here I don't even know what the heck is going on most of the time. I just have to worry about the groomsmen for the most part and Buddy.
Yeah, our dog.
Yeah, our dog.
It's so funny, too, though, because when we first started this process, I had asked you, how involved do you want to be? You're like, I want to be involved in everything. And as the time's gone on, and it's only been a few months, you're like, I'm good. You can make that decision.
You do everything now. So
Because every time I ask you, you're like there's a sigh.
A lot of it is kind of I don't know, in my opinion, stupid. You know, it's seriously, it's just like the sexy red joke, you know. That's a real thing that happened. I'm like, dude, what the heck does that mean? You
so
know?
Giving a little context on this, and we're just jumping right into this kind of it's a guy versus girl perspective on weddings, right? And kind of what we're both going through.
Yeah.
So our colors we have picked for the wedding, and they are plum, and I think it was forever red.
I said red, but
right,
we had to pick one of those fancy.
Right, because you didn't realize that roses come in so many different shades, right? And so I showed you a shade chart, and there was forever red and sexy red.
I was
and
what the hell is this?
What was the other one? Flawless red and stuff like that. And then you were like, what's even the difference? You couldn't tell the different tints and shades of it.
I couldn't. Yeah.
So we did end up on Forever Red. It was a nice mix of the dark and the light.
Yeah.
You don't even know that. You're just like,
I don't
yeah.
know. I was just like, I mean, yeah, sure. I just kind of like closed my eyes and picked one, you know?
I like showed you 2 different purples and you're like, they look the same. I'm like, they're so different.
I'm like, okay, crazy. You know, it's like,
But I feel like every guy goes through this. That's why it's fun to hear your perspective of it all. I feel like that was the first like hurdle we had to get over was colors. Don't you agree?
yeah.
Like
yeah.
that was the interesting part. Like I didn't think colors were going to be that big of a deal.
Me either. I thought it was just simple, you know?
You're like red and purple, done.
Like the box of crowns, right? You rarely got the crazy colors in there. It's like very few of them in there.
You never got the box of 48 crowns that had all the different colors?
Well, I probably couldn't afford it. You know, like seriously, back then, you know, it's like, I don't know, we got the cheap stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess I got the little miniature ones, you know, so.
I remember the like 48 crowns and there was like magenta, pink, plum, like those colors.
All right, here's a real question. For your box of crowns, did your box of crowns have the pencil sharpener in it, or the crown?
At one point when I got
what I'm
older.
talking about?
Yeah, at one point when I got older.
Oh,
But it wasn't the Crayola. It was
you're that
what
type.
was it? The Rose Art,
yeah,
the crappy ones.
yeah.
Yeah, it was those. Rose Art never like actually colored on the paper. Like the color
it was just oil.
It was
It was
so
just like
bad.
oily or something.
Yeah. But
But you had the pencil sharpener though on the back of yours.
at one point, yes.
Ah, bougie.
So bougie with my box of
Bougie.
crowns.
Ah,
So bougie.
ugh.
But anyways, so we got through. So that was the first hurdle, I would say. Like that's where that joke comes from, but it's so true. Like I feel like guys learn a lot more of what goes into planning events than they realize when they're going through a wedding planning process and like all the little details. So for people wondering, we have our colors. They're plum and Forever Red.
To me, it's red.
Okay, red.
Yeah.
Whatever. We have our bridal party, but you're the one throwing a wrench in that one every couple weeks.
Not really. I don't think so.
Well, no, it's just funny because like you add people in, right? Which is awesome because I'm like, well, why didn't we just do this all in the beginning? And we keep thinking of more and more.
Well, yeah.
But then it's so funny because I told you, you're like, I want to add my entire platoon, which would be amazing. But I was like, I want to also get down the aisle in less than 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. Like any of them, like I'm so grateful for them because I developed that bond with so many people. Any of them could have been in it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could, I would put all of them in
I
there.
know.
And it's not me just I'm not picking favorites or anything. Like anybody could.
No, I mean, it's a tough decision. And like I said, I would let you have the entire platoon. I just don't want to take 2 hours to get down the aisle.
Yeah.
Because, Buddy's going to be over here like pooping on the side. And my niece Saoirse's going to be crying in the corner
Or
if it takes that long.
Yeah.
I'm going to be crying because I want to take a nap at that point. So, but I think that's the interesting thing. It's just like where it started. So you have 9, I have 8, and we're leaving it at that, which I know is like a little bit like different for most people because usually you have even numbers, but that's kind of where we wanted to be at. And I think it's going to work out great. It's kind of like we're doing it our way. But can you tell everybody how you asked your groomsmen to be groomsmen?
I just put them in a group text. Basically, like
were you
I was like, I don't know how to do this. Y'all are like writing letters and like heartfelt letters and like, oh my God, will you be the one? And I'm like, all right, dude, do y'all want to be a part of this thing or not? It's like,
yeah, you literally told me. I come up to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at these little bride proposal gifts I got for my bridesmaids, right?
Yeah.
And it was like socks. And then it was, I think, a personalized like Starbucks cup, like with their name and like what they
cool.
are.
I thought it was cool.
Which is really cool. And then there was like a card with pictures of me and my bridesmaid with like a little note on it, right? Saying, asking, will you be my bridesmaid, right? I'm like, oh my God, look at my like bridesmaid proposal boxes. He's like, that's so cool. I was like, what did you do? He goes, I just sent a text saying, hey, you want to be in a wedding? I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? It's just so funny, like the way guys and girls' minds think about that. Because then we had actually one of my bridesmaids got engaged and she asked me to be in her wedding. and like brought a whole box over and a blanket and a bracelet and everything
cool.
in it, which is
I
really
like
cool.
that. Yeah.
And then we asked her fiance how he was going to ask people. He was like, oh, no, I'll probably just talk to him. I'll just ask
Yeah,
him.
it's like, hey, dude. Yeah.
It's just so funny the way that like that works out between guys and girls.
I don't know. I think it's just we're simple. We don't have to like handwrite a letter like, oh my God, will you be under the twinkling lights with me under this special date? You know, I'm like, hey, y'all want to hang out? You know, it's like,
Just get a little fancy, you're fine.
Yeah, y'all just have to stand up there. Well, we're trying to work that out so that you don't have to stand up there.
True.
But, hey, y'all want to stand up for 30 minutes and, you know,
have some good food after?
Yeah, spend all this money and have 30 minutes of fun. You know, it's like, woo, yeah.
But what's really cool and different is you actually, for your best man, is Buddy, our dog. I think that's so cool.
Yes. Well, he's been a big part of my life. And, like, you know, it was hard to just, like, I've been with so many great people, like Sandy. And Jalen and stuff like that. They were a big part of my life, but I wanted to put Buddy in it. And for him, I think, you know, a man's best friend is a dog.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's been with me through everything, you know, through COVID and all that stuff. And now he's becoming older. You know, with his Fu Manchu, goatee.
Yeah, little gray goatee there.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think that's amazing. It's something different. You and I don't like to follow the path of anything. Like, we like to make our own experiences.
Yeah.
I think the biggest worry I have for that is him, like, just deciding to poop, like, down the middle of the aisle.
Like, hold on, guys.
I gotta go.
Just give me a second.
That or, like, fart.
Yeah.
And then, like, crop dust everybody.
Or just say hi to everyone. Yeah.
That one would be cute. I'm thinking, like,
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, I know you. Hey.
I mean, it may take him, like, you know how when we go on a walk with him, it takes him like an hour and a half because he wants to sniff every tree. It may take him a while to get down the aisle. Yeah. He has to say hi to everybody.
Horses. There were horses.
There were horses there.
So he might make a friend.
Lord. Oh, no.
Or there were cats there, too. He gets along with cats.
Does get along with cats. So, but I think that's really cool. So you have, and like, your groomsmen are a mix of people who you served with.
Yep.
And also childhood best friends, which is really cool.
Yep.
And future family as well.
Yep.
Which is really cool. And your sister.
Yep.
That's also a cool, like, side note. She's going to be on your side.
Yeah. What do they call that?
She's going to be a groomswoman.
Groomswoman, yeah. So.
Which I thought, I have to, like, share the story because I thought it was really cute. When we first got engaged, we took your mom and sister out for breakfast. And we told them, you know, like, we're engaged. Well, your mom knew. Your sister didn't. And so I just laid my hand on the table, and she, like, didn't even notice because she was, like, eating her chocolate something.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I get you, girl. Like, I wouldn't notice either when there's chocolate in front of me. And then we were like, we want you to be in the wedding. And we'd said, whose side do you want to be on? Because I happily would have had her, too.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can be on his side. I'm like, of course you can. She goes, I love you, Tiffany, but I got to be on my brother's side. And I thought that was just so cute. Like a heartwarming moment, you know?
Yeah.
So you're going to have her on that side. You're going to have Buddy. You have an eclectic group happening.
It's a mixed group. That's for sure.
It's an eclectic group. But my question to you is what happens when the bachelor party comes around? Because Buddy, I'm sorry to tell you, does not have opposable thumbs to try to plan this.
Yeah.
I don't know what he gonna do to help you with that.
I don't know. You know, we'll have a meeting.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a meeting.
You and Buddy?
Guys only.
Oh, guys only.
Guys only, right? Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I want him to be a part of it, so.
Obviously.
I would love to get him certified, and I could take him everywhere.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
He's great out in public, so. But anyways, yeah.
So that's your bachelor side. My bridesmaids are, you know, all of my friends from high school, college, when I was in Iowa for 2 years for radio, and then here in Virginia, and my sister.
How many states do we have represented?
This is really cool. So I think last I counted, it was like 7 or 8 states just represented in our bridal party.
That's pretty cool.
Which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, like not many people can say that. And then by the time you add in all the people we're inviting, we're going to be representing a lot of states.
There's more.
Our goal is to represent every single state in the U.S. No, I'm kidding.
America.
We don't know somebody in, like, I don't know, North Dakota. We just go there just to be like, hey, you want to come to the wedding?
We need one more state.
Right. We're trying to set a Guinness World Record here, okay? I don't know you, but come on down.
It's like Bob or what was that dude from State Farm? Jake from
Oh,
State
Jake
Farm.
from State Farm.
He's in khakis. Yeah.
Come on down. We need you for a record breaker. So yeah, so that was kind of easy. I feel like we had that from the beginning.
Yep.
The colors have thrown you a little bit. What else part of like the wedding process have you been like, oh my God, what's happening? Or questions you have?
I think the venue was the hardest.
Venue was the hardest. We did secure one. It is in Virginia, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
It was the hardest because it was the first place we went to and we fell in love with. But then we ended up not being able to get it because somebody else put in a bid for the day we were going to do.
Yeah.
And then you were very much set on that place. It's kind of funny because you were so set and that's the place you wanted.
Yeah.
That, like, I was like, well, let's go look at other places. And I knew you weren't going to be happy.
Nope.
You know, it's like a toddler set in their ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was.
It's just like when I'm buying a house, like I bought multiple houses and did the whole real estate thing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when you walk in a house, you know if it's gonna work or not. You picture yourself there, and you did it too at that place, and you picture yourself walking right there. You know.
But we were so set on the date that I was like, okay, we just got to find a place with places we're booking up. And let me say something about this whole wedding venue thing.
You tell them.
The fact that there are places that want to charge you like up to like $50,000 just for a raw venue.
Yeah.
Why on earth would I give you money for that when I wouldn't even buy a house for that price?
Yeah.
For a single day, which is like maybe 8 hours.
Yeah, I chose the wrong career.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm being ripped off. The first couple places we looked at, there was literally a venue that I had called. We loved it. It was historical. And I had asked for a venue tour and they were like, well, what's your budget? And I was like, kind of told them what we were looking for. And they're like, oh, we'll just cancel your tour for you. That's not even like our starting rate. And I was like, well, that was rude. And they said their starting rate was like $30,000 to $50,000 for a day.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you spend that money? I mean, look, more power to you if you had the money and that's what you want to spend it on, like whatever.
Hey, do you, boo?
But
Yeah.
I cannot understand spending that kind of money for a single day.
No, when we can spend $30,000 to $50,000 on a honeymoon.
On a honeymoon, on a
shoot,
house.
we can live in Europe for like 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Or
like
something.
I had to get up on my soapbox there because I was like, this is ridiculous. Especially when it doesn't include anything. Like it's not including catering. It's not including anything like that. So for us, the process to search for a venue,
Yeah.
the things that we were looking for were historic.
Yeah, because Virginia is obviously very historic, and I want that part because I'm from here. You know?
We wanted it to be outdoors, all of it. We want to, because the way we're doing our wedding, we wanted to be able to pick our catering.
Yep.
Which that is actually a lot harder to find than you think. There's a lot of places that won't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
So that I think was the biggest challenge in finding a place that was like, you don't have to use their catering. Because I'm sorry, I've been to so many weddings in my lives. I've been part of them or I've been to them. I've never had good food at a wedding, ever.
Yeah, like that. I don't know how to.
The crappy, like,
how do you explain it?
manufactured,
Like,
typical
it's bad for you.
catering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you go in and they serve you the chicken,
It's like
or they serve you
lukewarm.
the steak. Yep, and it's lukewarm. And then the bland mashed potatoes with the green beans you didn't ask for,
Yeah.
and then the salad that's like soggy. You know,
Yeah.
like I have never had good food at a wedding, and I specifically said to you, when we get married, I want to have food that I can stuff my face with,
Yeah.
and people are gonna leave me alone until I'm done eating.
Yeah, we want to create an experience where it's like, oh, it's not another wedding. It's like you actually want to go. It was a good vacation for some people. So
And I will say on the food thing, on a side note, I read something like me being the female, I was doing all like my wedding research online, and certain things.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was a list of like things that you should be aware of on your wedding day. And it was like, eat before you walk down the aisle because you're not going to have a chance to eat the rest of the night.
Oh,
And I was like, excuse me,
Yeah.
if we are going to be getting this good food, I am going to be sitting my butt down with a do not disturb sign wrapped around my neck and stuffing my face.
Yeah.
We're all going to eat so that the bride doesn't get hangry because I can be mean.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on with my time.
Like a bridezilla.
Oh my God. That would be the only time I'd be a bridezilla because I feel like I'm not a bridezilla.
No.
You said that with
No,
hesitation.
I was like thinking. I was like, no.
Nah, I'm pretty laid back.
We watched the show a few times.
We did.
And I was like, no.
Yeah. And I'm pretty laid back, but if it comes to food, y'all better let me eat that day or else I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
So the biggest things were like historic vibe, outdoors, a place that lets us do
Bring
our
buddy.
catering, a place that allows dogs to be there. And I think those were the biggest things.
Yep.
To be honest. And it was hard to find. It was a search. And by that, I mean, it was a search online, hard to find.
Yeah.
But then when we went to this place that we ended up getting, like you said, we just were like, yep, this is it. And so we did end up getting that day, but we had to change our date.
Yeah, compromise on that.
And the only reason in the beginning we didn't want to change the date is because when we set the wedding date, we set it back like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to set it early enough because I knew people were coming from different states, and I've been in weddings where you're told 4 months before and you don't have the money to go. I want people to have a awareness of it if they want to come and save that time. And so we picked it, and I ended up, telling friends and family, and my maid of honor's parents, who were like my second family. I got a call from her mom, and she was like, is this a set date? Like, you all aren't changing it. I was like, not that I know of. Why? She goes, okay. She goes, well, my maid of honor's dad had actually apparently booked like this fishing trip.
Yeah.
And
crazy fishing
where
trip.
was it? Was like in a different country.
It was like Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he got in trouble because he didn't tell his wife that he booked it.
Yeah.
So that was number one. But two, he had booked it for that exact same weekend that we were having our wedding.
Yep, of course. Yeah.
And it was a trip that only happens once a year. And he had already paid for it.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh no. And of course, being like my second parents, his wife was like, look, if it was anybody else, I'd say go on your fishing trip. But this is Tiff. Like, this is our other daughter.
Yeah.
You have to be there. He's like, I know. So he canceled an entire fishing trip, didn't get money back.
Wow.
Can't go until the next year.
Very grateful.
Very grateful. Very, very loved. But I remember like saying to you, like, we cannot change this weekend.
It has
this
to
has
happen.
to stay. This guy gave up a fishing trip in Argentina for this. Like, this is important. I was like, I don't care.
Fishing or something.
Right. I was like, I don't care if you take him on the Rappahannock River and I like swim underneath with a tropical fish that's already dead and put it on his line. Like, we're gonna make it worth it.
Oh no, you captured the fish that you wanted in Argentina. How did it end up here?
In Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yep.
So we were struggling with that, but thankfully the date only changed to the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So it still worked out for that venue.
Yeah.
So now we're having a Friday wedding, which I think is actually kind of cool. Like, I know like some people are kind of weary about that, but I feel like especially with so many people traveling, you actually get 2 days to travel back and relax before you have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Versus having a Saturday wedding, which is normally what it is, and then you have to travel Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone.
Or take more PTO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yes, we have booked a venue. We have gotten our bridal party. We've asked them. We've picked our colors. We know what you guys are doing for your suits.
Yep.
We know what the bridesmaids are doing for their dresses. I'm looking for my dress.
Yep.
And of course, I can't talk about that on here.
Yep.
But overall, it's just so funny, like, to see your reaction to certain things or hear your reaction. Like, even when we went ring shopping, you call my ring a transformer ring.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You're like, oh my gosh, it can do this and fit into here, and you can do it this way.
Like, no way.
No way. And you learned so much. Like, you had so much fun with that.
It was a lot of fun, and getting to sit down, and just look at the diamond itself, or all the diamonds or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. And it's like, it's like I'm gonna spend the money for this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn about it,
Mm-hmm.
and just I wanted something that I like to look at too,
Yeah.
and I think you have a cool ring
Well,
too.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. So would you say overall, like, what's been your favorite part of wedding planning so far? Just getting the ring?
that was pretty fun. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. But I don't know. The venue tour was pretty
It was
cool
really
too
cool.
because I'm a history
Mm-hmm.
fan,
Mm-hmm.
so it was pretty cool to see all the history behind it. I don't know. It was just great experience for that
What's been the most stressful part so far for you?
planning, like all of it. Yeah,
Oh,
all of it for me, But it's just a learning experience,
mm-hmm.
just like you start a new job or whatever it is, or start learning a new hobby. It's like I've never done this before, so it's a lot of the unknown. Like, how do you do this? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's like forever red. It's like I don't know what that means.
I would have to say probably one of the more stressful things has been the first engagement party that was at our house.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it just because of like everything like going into it, it was just like very stressful. But even before that, it was funny because I remember sitting there filling out invites. And you're like, what are you doing? And I was like filling these out. He goes, oh, I want to help. I want to contribute.
Mhm.
And you started on the envelopes. I don't even think it was halfway through. You're like, I don't want to contribute anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of envelopes.
And so,
Yeah,
like,
for
we finished
sure.
up the envelopes and everything. You're like, oh, okay, we're done. I was like, just so you know, we have to do this for the wedding in like 6 months.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
No.
You're like, we're getting a stamp with our address on it next
Yeah, we
time.
should. Yeah.
But I think that was the funny, like, one of the other funny things that's happened during that.
Yeah. I mean, that was. I don't know. It's just a lot of things. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't realize,
Mm-hmm.
how strenuous that it could
Mm-hmm.
be. I know that sounds funny, but, you know, trying to get all these, making sure you invite the right people, or
Yeah. That's
making
hard.
sure you don't miss out anybody because, maybe we missed a person, or I forgot,
Yeah.
or whatever. It's hard to keep track of all that, and you don't want anybody upset. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we've made a preliminary master guest list. Um, but it's hard, right? Because you want like the people who matter you the most there,
Yeah.
but you also want to make sure you can afford everybody, right?
Yeah.
And like and as you said, forgetting people, like do you forget this person? Or like the people who's like the second cousin twice removed from your mom's side that you didn't even know. Do you invite them?
Yeah.
Like that's been a question as well, like people
Yeah.
who you don't really talk to or you don't know but your family knows and you're like, am I supposed to invite them?
Yeah.
I feel like those are kind of the small things that we've been running into.
Yeah.
Um, I think the next steps within this, like it's been a lot of fun for me at least. I'm the female. I love doing these little things. I show you things every day. Oh my gosh, look at this for decor, or look at this for the bouquets, or look at this, and you're like, uh-huh,
Hmm.
uh-huh. Like you really don't care.
Yeah. I just zone out. Yeah.
You have told me many times before, and my mom, if you could just take me to the courthouse, you'd get married today.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love and think is endearing. That's not like
You want the whole
I do.
experience.
I'm not a courthouse bride
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not me.
yeah.
So I hate to tell you that there's a lot more in the future to go through.
Yeah.
But to give the update for everybody asking, because we've gotten a lot of comments, questions like where are you at? What's been the hardest thing, most funny thing? One of the questions we got was how would you describe what you would like your wedding to be like in one word, like the vibe of the day?
Mm. An experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to enjoy it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to be like, oh, it's like I said, another wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like, oh man, we gotta go do this, and we just sit there, go through the motions type deal.
Which I feel
But
like is every guy.
yeah, but I want everyone to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm trying to cater to the men, I guess, that are
Mm-hmm.
showing up. And
Stand up for the men.
Or like the kiddos, like to
Yeah.
have them enjoy it.
That's an interesting topic to bring up because I've seen a lot of people go back and forth, like whether they're going to allow kids at their wedding or not.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then people get upset if they don't allow the kids, or people get upset if they do allow kids. I think it's each couple's preference. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
We're allowing kids at our wedding because we know a lot of our friends have them. And I would hate to be in a position in the future where I have to get a babysitter, especially to leave the state
Yeah.
to go to someone's wedding
That's
and pay
hard.
that at the same time as paying your way to get here.
Yeah.
And they mean a lot to us as kids, like the kids are our family.
Yeah.
And so I think personally, especially because alcohol is not going to be involved in our wedding.
Yep.
We're not having an open bar. We're not having any of that because we just don't drink, either one of
Yeah.
us. So like that's not really a concern in terms of having kids there, I feel like.
No.
Um,
It'd be Capri Suns, you know?
yeah, exactly. But for me, I'm fine with kids at a wedding. I don't care. I think it makes the experience more fun.
Yeah, seeing them run around and stuff like that and enjoying themselves. I mean, maybe they'll remember that experience and be like, man, y'all remember when we were kids, we were running
Mm-hmm.
in the courtyard or something and
Mm-hmm.
we were playing hide and seek. That's cool. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
memory to have, So,
I have seen a lot of couples though, like I said, I'm like following all these wedding things, talk about how they decide they don't want kids at a wedding. They want to be 21 and up and stuff. And people do complain about it, which I can see. What's your response to that? Like if someone chooses to do that,
what?
have no kids at the wedding, like it is 21 and up.
It's their choice.
Yeah.
It's their vibe or whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it that they're
Mm-hmm.
aiming for, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I mean, it's all about what really the people getting married want,
Mm-hmm.
you
Like I
know?
don't think it's fair because I've seen it happen for guests to get upset with them. Like, oh, well, that means you don't like my kids around or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. Maybe they just want an adult party, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, it's like, are you gonna, I'm not saying it's the same, but are you gonna take your kids to a club
Mm-hmm.
or a
Mm-hmm.
bar? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, do you really want them there
Yeah,
while you're
exactly.
having a few drinks or whatever, having a good time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's all what the couple wants, and
Mm-hmm.
if that's the rules, that's the rules. In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, there's nothing I can say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think another topic that's been brought up with guest lists a lot too is plus ones,
Mhm.
which we've talked about. We're allowing everybody to bring a plus one.
Yeah.
I have been at weddings where I was not allowed one, and when you don't know most of the people there, like maybe you're really good friends with the bride,
Yeah.
but you don't know like their other circles,
Yeah.
it's so awkward and it's not that enjoyable. Like you're just kind of ready to get through the traditionals and eat dinner and go.
Go home. Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to feel that way. So I think even though it's like a cost more thing, but as you said, it's experience. Like we're allowing plus ones for
Yeah.
everybody at the wedding.
Yep.
And I know there's some couples who don't, and that's okay. It has to depend on their budget, I think.
Yeah. It's all about what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and what they can afford, and there's nothing wrong with either
Mm-hmm.
one, just like with the kids, because
Mm-hmm.
even with the kids, you gotta have a meal for them too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like it goes back to the couple and
Mm-hmm.
what they want. So yeah.
But would you say, is there a cutoff? And by that, I mean like, say it's like the month before our wedding, and one of your friends or my friends or whatever says, oh my gosh, I just started dating this person. I want to bring them along. And it's like the month before. Do you think there's
Well,
a cutoff for that?
well, I feel like, I don't know. I think we're gonna try to plan to have extra seats
Yeah.
just for last minute
Yeah.
stuff, but we can't accommodate for the whole world,
Yeah.
right?
Like that's the hard thing with that, I feel.
Yeah.
Like I feel
So,
like there has to be like it could be like the week before and somebody's like, I just started dating this person. It's like, okay,
I
well you
mean,
just
if we have
started.
like the extra seats,
Yeah.
we'll be like, oh, okay, we have a spot here. We'll,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important to try to think ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Like with anything, you want to
Mm-hmm.
be prepared,
Mm-hmm.
for stuff, as much as possible. So just trying to add extra seats just in case,
Mm-hmm.
Billy, Bob wants to bring Sarah Joe.
Billy Bob and Sarah Jane.
Yeah, they just met,
The night before.
the night before at a bar.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. It's like just making those boundaries clear too. And once we're out of extra seats, like,
you'd be like, hey, I'm sorry, we're at
yeah.
max capacity.
Yep.
Um, I mean, maybe we can get them into the after
Party.
party, but
Yeah.
to have a seat, probably not,
Yeah.
at the ceremony.
Would you say the guest list is probably the hardest thing of planning a whole wedding? Because I
Yeah,
think so.
I think so. It's like not missing anybody and
Mm-hmm.
not upsetting anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the hardest part. But like with anything in life, like you can't please everyone,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. So you just gotta do your best to
Mm-hmm.
accommodate.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's not our job to move heaven and earth for people either,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's our day
Yeah.
or the couple's day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, that might be harsh, whatever, but that's my opinion,
Yeah. I
because
agree with you.
as long as we try, as long as
Yeah.
we could say we tried and we
Yeah.
can, as long as we tried and that's all we can do.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's as far as we've gotten for our wedding planning.
Yes, I'm pretty tired now. Yeah.
I could tell, like, as soon as we started the episode, I was like, okay, I'm tired of talking about weddings.
No.
But it has been an interesting journey so far with you. You've stood your ground for your men.
Yes, I'm staying strong,
You're
fellas.
staying
Yeah.
strong. You're not coming to the dark side yet.
No.
What are you looking forward to next in the planning process? I know what I am looking forward to.
The planning process,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for my gifts to come in
Oh.
for my groomsmen.
Yeah, you do have a really good gift for them. That's all we can say because we
Yeah.
know some of them listen.
Yes.
See, I was going a different route. I'm excited for the cake tastings.
I'm excited for that too. And
the food
and
tastings.
the catering or whatever. Yeah.
I was like, that was like my next thing on the list.
You're like, oh no, we just gotta try all the cake,
Oh, darn.
or
Mm.
the food spots.
You know, we tried a chocolate at one place, but this chocolate may be slightly different, so I need to try
It's
that.
forever chocolate,
It's forever chocolate.
not the
Sexy chocolate.
sexy chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Well, we'll keep you all up to date on if we pick forever chocolate or sexy chocolate in the future.
So,
But we do appreciate all the questions, all
Yes.
the wedding talk. If you have any questions for us, you want to know more, maybe you're in a situation where you're getting married and you have some really cool ideas, we would love to hear them. Or you have an issue, we would love to try
or
to help you solve
suggestions or
them.
tips.
Yeah, exactly. You can hit us up on social media, B&T Unscripted, B and the and symbol T Unscripted on Facebook. And you can also find mine, Tiffany Kay on air on Facebook and Instagram. Hit us up that way. Please like, subscribe, share, follow. We appreciate you all.
Any suggestions?
Yes. We appreciate you all. Tell
Give us
us
a
if
5-star rating if you want.
yes,
Yeah.
please. Give us a review. And if you're a guy and you're on Brandon's side, guess what? You have some support. So I'm sure Brandon can help you out in the background of a wedding.
If you're team Brandon, let me know. If you team Tiffany, let us know too.
And we'll keep you up to date as we get closer. But again, thank you all so much for listening. And we will be talking with you soon.
Yes. One quick thing. Make sure you tell someone that you love them today, and tell them that you care about them and love them, and have a great day.